Starting again. Okay, yeah. Thank you everybody for joining virtually. Thank you everyone for joining IRL here at Zu-Grāma. Welcome to our January Zuzalu Software Town Hall, the first one of 2025. We have a lot of projects that are here both virtually and in real life to present, so we'll jump into it. But we're going to start with brief introduction about Zu.City, Zuzalu software, as well as Zu-Grāma, just to get everybody virtually and here on the same page. Actually, we didn't coordinate. Should I share this, or does QJ, Kathy, Kelly, someone else want to? Coordinated everything else. Going once, going twice. All right, Zuzalu software. What is Zuzalu software? So it's a coordinated effort to produce digital public goods. We know this is Public Goods Week at Zu-Grāma, so we've been talking about a lot of different forms of public goods. What is a digital public good? Well, we consider that open source, free software that is, we're building tools that many people can use, that you're not reliant on a single central actor. So together it's an initiative where we're building and testing tools that innovative communities such as Zu-Grāma and the wider Zuzalu ecosystem or Ethereum ecosystem need for online and offline coordination. A lot of you here asking, does this count? Does my project count? And we have a pretty wide net, so absolutely I do think it counts. And then our software town hall, we have monthly. We are usually doing it virtually, but we did a first hybrid one. Actually, we did it in Georgia, a second one in Bangkok at Cyber House, and now this is our third one here being hosted at Zu-Grāma, where we can share updates. Also, you can share calls to action if you're looking for collaborators or whatever it is that test users, etc. And everybody is invited. So please join us again every month for these software town halls. Now, Casey will introduce Zu-Grāma.
Hi, everyone. Happy New Year, everybody tuning in virtually. So Zu-Grāma, this is the first Zuzalu iteration for India. Hi everyone. First Zuzalu iteration for India. I don't know how many I've already checked it out, but I've dropped the link to Yash's white paper. Who out of the three of us, I would say, is like one of the main initiators or the main initiator for this. And then with Anish and I as a supporting function, bringing a collective vision to reality. So this is a 6-week pop-up village, very close to the Montenegro style for Zuzalu that was held. And it'll be awesome. You guys can check out our Twitter handle where we have daily updates across all sessions being posted. This is broken apart across 6 weeks. We have weekly dedicated tracks. The first week was Governance Week, where we had Eric come down and go very deep into what is governance, institutional governance versus norms, what is a constitution, and governance IRL and on a protocol level. This week is Public Goods and Social Impact Week, and it's going to follow on with Longevity and DeSci, Deep Tech, and then AI and cryptography towards the last 2 weeks. What we're going to do over, I guess, through the town hall is also feature some of the builders that are building on problem statements. So we're deviating from the path of hackathons, which are very short-term and usually not intentional or value-aligned, towards what we call a buildathon. The hope is that we get to do this twice a year, and the buildathon essentially lasts perpetually in the course of finding project market fit, product market fit, while keeping vision alignment intact. So this is like a sneak preview of the first week and a half. We have 50+ fellows, and as you can see on camera, we have a lot of local representation, I think for the first time at Zuzalu, where over 80% of the residents are local. And over 6 weeks, we will potentially have 150+ residents, of which approximately 70% of the residents are full-time across the entire 6 weeks. and full-time and visiting experts across all the different tracks over the next 4 weeks left of the 42 days. I won't get too detailed into the Zu-Grāma experiment, but the idea is intentionally building products, platforms, ideas that are more long-term value aligned as opposed to short-term hackathon farming craft aligned. And the mechanism is still being iterated on, but the hope is by 2027, we have achieved some form of a self-governed community exit of what we call Zu-Grāma. And why India? So 50% of India's population is under 30 years old. And the younger you are, the more tolerance you have for risk. And the idea here is, given the juxtaposition that India finds itself in, we're #1 ranked in crypto adoption globally, where 20% of the Indian population holds cryptocurrencies, and 78% of India's population has access to data connections. And compared to the global average, the cost of data here is super cheap. It's approximately 17 cents a GB compared to $2.59 a GB globally. And the barrier to knowledge is as thin as it's ever been. So this, we thought, was the perfect time to kick off this movement in India and bring exposure to this way of thinking and building. So yeah, so with that being said, we will now get into the builder presentations. Starting with Veronica, should I?
Yeah, go for it, and we will start with Zu.Coffee-Zuzalu.City. So I think Reno is going to jump in here. So we're going to aim for 3 minutes. But
Okay, I'll try 3 minutes.
Do your best.
All right, Reno, it's over to you.
Simon, yeah.
Oh, it's me. Yeah, it's Simon. Hi guys, I'm Simon. Heading product here at Zu.Coffee-Zuzalu.City. We do have a lot of things to go through, but I'll try to go as fast as I can. So today I'll be going through some things that we have planned for the next 3 to 6 months. And for the rest of the year, that's still being fleshed out, but we do have many ideas in the pipeline, so stay tuned for those. Starting from today, or this week rather, we are implementing a V1 DApp discovery. So that includes lists for independent apps that people can use, installable apps for both spaces and events, and possibly include ecosystem projects in Zu software. On integration side, we're looking to finalize Zuland discussion app in the event, and also try to include Zuland as an app in the community space. We're also finalizing importing for lemonade events, so users can display their lemonade events on Zu.City. There's also something called Zu.Coffee, which is sort of the decentralized store e-commerce app for spaces and events. So we're going to start integrating on that for V1. And with ticketing, we also have Lotto PGF, which I think is still in development, and also looking to integrating lemonade ticketing for events. So going forward, I think maybe the next slide, towards the 6-month mark, we're going to be researching on implementing social protocols for things like commenting and feeds. So we're looking at projects like Status, Orbis Lit Protocol, for messaging, commenting, flat feeds for events and sessions. There's also a feature, as an example, that we want to add things like real-time Q&A for sessions. Also on improvements with user experience, that's going to be ongoing, and that's going to be done by flow or by page. And one user experience addition we would be providing would be things like guides on how using spaces, installing dApps, managing their events. Event app-specific implementations, which include things like subscribing to Google Calendar or iCal for sessions. This also includes events in the space calendar. There's also data analytics for sessions, attendees, things like booking, video for sessions, event announcements via email, and again, including some social functionality. Other implementations and improvements would be improving further user experience on the event ticketing side and payment systems. And again, adding more methods like Lemonade and Lotto PGF. So last but not least, we're also looking into notification system. So it would include email notifications and push notifications. Notification list is just let's say the interface for users to view notifications based on certain system events. So these are some of the specific things that we have fleshed out so far, and we're defining more, and those will be included in the roadmap, so you can stay tuned for those. And also at the very end there, any project looking to integrate with us, we do have an integration process in the box, so you can see the link at the bottom right. You can head to that link, or you can reach out to us on Element. Thank you.
Great, so I guess we have one more slide.
Yes.
But
Does that mean that I get an extra 3 minutes? Hi, everyone in Zu-Grāma. Huge FOMO here that I cannot make it. Hi, Nikita. And yes, hello. So I thought we could have added a little more to the bigger picture of what Zu.City and Zu software want to achieve. And then these are essentially what we identified as a community initiative, or what we need to deliver in order for this to be a sustainable model for the decentralized applications to be involved. One of the bigger goal here is that we really want to leverage Ethereum and Web3 infrastructure stacks so that we actually build the alternatives that do exist and are not very easy to use when they are distributed everywhere for communities to collaborate. The reason why this makes sense for all of us who are involved is that when you are using a dApp or decentralized or Web3 or Ethereum app, it makes sense for your own value. Sometimes you care about privacy, if you care about owning your own data and assets, but it makes it even a stronger point when you're collaborating with someone else, when trust needs to be built over the internet across new people that just got together in one of the Zulus in Zu-Grāma, but you're so excited with the shared values and vision. With these technologies, it will be much easier for you to own your own community, manage everything together with truly decentralized applications in the Ethereum ecosystem. And this is why we think it makes sense for us to become one of the interfaces to be helping distribution of decentralized applications. And this way we are united as one force that could push out to innovative communities to try out these things. And then it also makes sense for them to use it as the tools in there, what we call the second point community OS. This is an operation system that is for collaboration, is for coordination among members in the community, whether or not it will always be in real life together, or whether it will sometimes have the, let's say, continuity online when we are nomading everywhere in different Zulus and different pop-up villages. One point that needs to be made to the dApp Store vision is that though we are trying very hard to integrate as many applications as possible, this will always have this glass ceiling of capacity. So it is essential that we have a permissionless dApp integration system. And this is one of the biggest focuses of our work in the next 2 years, so that there is no gating in communities choosing what tools fit what they need to try on. And this also is wrapped in the community OS, where mostly it's about managing what kind of tools you as communities want to use, and then the access and permission management in this collaboration system. And apart from that, interoperability is one of the key principles of Zulu software, because this leverages the best of all our ecosystem efforts. And at the same time, it allows communities to own their own data assets and then have their own choices in the entire autonomy. And this will be leveraging all these centralized applications and allowing villages, communities to self-host their tools. So you don't necessarily have to be on any of the interfaces. Of course, we would love to provide as good experience like Lemonade, like Zu.City, like Solar, in order for to give an example of a good use, and also for your communities to be discovered by members that share same values and same visions. At the same time, allowing this to be completely owned by users, right? And then this is the fourth point. So whenever data are on chain or whenever communities need to be found, there should be a good way and better curation for them to be found. And since communities and decentralized applications are our focus, these are, let's say, a major part of user experience that we do need to provide on each of the interfaces that we're looking into collaborating in ourselves on Zu.City. And the last part is a long-term goal, but we need to start now, which is of all the Zu builders that are contributing to this whole initiative, we need to find out, research, and then discuss over ways that we could actually collaborate. And it is, I would say, unprecedented as a coordination that is among and across different independent teams that are contributing to the same vision. But at the same time, we need to figure out a way that we could altogether be sustainable with models of profitability that in the end contribute and finance back into this whole initiative in our own projects. And this means let's say, collective governance over assets over the entire software. This also means tools that we need will be also represented by other communities that will also be using, such as Bounty, right? Like, how do we delegate a lot of the tasks into our communities, and how do we make it more clear what kind of tools we need? And this means a lot of conversations with villages, with communities, but at the same time identifying who are the key aligned long-term partners to be involved in the governance together. So there's a lot of work in the next few years, and if there will be interest also to know more about Zu.City and Zu software, we'd be happy to also provide a more in-depth, detailed presentations to people who are now in Zu-Grāma or in another opportunity with other town halls. That's it for me.
Veronica, you are muted. I think I cannot unmute you. You should unmute yourself. Can you hear me? You're unmuted. You are muted because of the echoes. Okay, cool.
Now we can click on mute.
Yeah, we can hear.
Mute button. So we're just gonna do it this way. Maybe I won't make it full screen so that. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. First of all, I would like to thank Veronica for giving me this space. I was not sure whether I should pitch it. So this is not a project. It's called IBF Blockchain. Right now, as I am in my 4th year of undergraduate, I'm pursuing BTech from Bennett University. And IBF stands for Indian Blockchain Fraternity, which is the blockchain club of my university. So for the last 2 years, what we have been doing is the first version and second version. This is a solidity bootcamp, and this is not a 2 hour or 3 hours event or something, which happens in just visa distribution is there. It's kind of a whole week, a structured program, which we take from the day 1 to day 6 or 7. And in this, we have structured in such a way that because in our university, from second year onwards, we have this. There's an option to select your specialization, and students don't know which specialization they should opt for. And the whole week we try to communicate the idea of blockchain to the students, starting with the day 1 very basics and coming on to the 6th or 7th day, where we try to just go on in a stepwise manner. So the first week was a successful one. In the second week, this image, which you can see right here, is basically communicates the whole summary of what it was. So it was for the all days and what we covered, and we were supported by Ethereum Foundation as well. Right now, what I am looking for, it's going to be in April 2025, tentatively, and I'm looking for the support in the form of grants, sponsorship, and if anyone wants to connect, you have my Telegram, you have my X, please connect with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's very fast. I don't think I need to time, but we will see. We have another hour. We do have a hard stop right at the end of this. All right, so I'm going to present Carbonvote on behalf of Reno and our team. So interestingly, the DAO hack has come up a lot last week in governance, and even just came up in Rashmi's presentation that just preceded this current one. So actually, Carbonvote was born in 2016 during the DAO attack as a way to signal community sentiment for whether or not DAO fork, ? So we have a bit of history on the side, and interestingly, we've discovered multiple times you can talk to ChatGPT about the history of Carbonvote, and our team just today got excited because we saw that ChatGPT has already updated to know that actually we're live on Farcaster now with Farcaster frames, even though that just happened last week. So this is, a bit about Carbonvote, going quickly, but I wanted to test it live now. So there's actually two that are live currently that I just posted on Farcaster. One is only if you hold at least one of those POAPs that Salman has been giving out. So it has to be linked to your address on Farcaster to vote, but you can test it. If you didn't claim any of those POAPs, no, you cannot vote. But the question is, Zu-Grāma should establish a governance body where only POAP holders hold voting power, and only POAP holders can currently vote. So it'll be interesting to see what the result is. The second one is based off of, you have to have a verified ETH address, and then the voting power is actually dependent on the amount of ETH held in that address. So you can vote if you have 0 ETH in an address, but it won't have any voting power compared to if someone has quite a bit. And that question is, or that motion, Zu-Grāma should establish a governance body where voting power is dependent on the amount of ETH held. So actually, we can see it here live. I can even refresh it to see if anybody is voting. At the moment, there are both the ones that were winning were disagree. Let's see. All right, loading. Oh, I thought that it. Okay, it's okay. Let me try again. Live demos. No stress. Oh, okay. So actually, there's 2 votes. Okay, good. It did not count my vote twice here because I had voted I disagree. 1 vote, 33. But actually, 67% of the POAP holders think that POAP holding should be the voting power for Zu-Grāma. Imagine that. And then here, interestingly, so we can see even though we have 9 votes for disagree and 2 votes for I agree that Zu-Grāma's governance body should be based off of ETH holding. It looks like I disagree is winning because of, so it is the most number of votes and the highest number. But if we get a whale in here that says I agree, then things will change. So that's one example. The way that you can use it, so you can go to carbonvote.com, or which will redirect to beta.carbonvote.com. You can create your poll. You can decide what type of credentials. You can actually have multiple credentials on the website. Just right now on the Farcaster version, you can only do 1 credential at a time. And on the side, there's a link, Farcaster frame share. And so in order to use it, all you do is you click cast and you just paste the link, and then it's going to automatically integrate. So this is the brand new Farcaster integration for Carbonvote. If you have any questions, then you can reach out to Fearless Reno. This is his Telegram. And I think that's it on Carbonvote. Next, we have Gardens. Paul, let me try to mute us again.
Thanks, Veronica. Can you guys hear me? Is my audio okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Nice. Hello, everyone. I'm Paul. I'm calling in from California. It's 5:30 a.m. for me. I'm not a morning person, so bear with me if I'm not the greatest presenter right now. But I'm happy to be here, and I feel like whenever I have a call with someone in India, it's always like 11 p.m., 12 a.m., 1 a.m. for them, and they're always so gracious. So I'm very happy, and I feel like I'm due. But let me present Gardens. So Gardens is a platform that I run. It's a modular conviction voting platform. That's the technical word for it. What it really is, it's community governance. And as a community on Gardens, you can upload a covenant, which is their social contract. And you can choose a governance token that people will stake to join your community. And then the community can then create any number of conviction voting pools. And conviction voting, the TLDR is that it's time-weighted voting. And this came out of a lot of research that happened in 2018, 2019 from block science, so a lot of PhDs in systems engineering who created this system of time-weighted voting. And the idea is that in electrical systems and biological systems, when you introduce a time element, then you create an element of stability and denoising, where basically you can kind of tune out a lot of the inaccurate or abusive or malicious signals that might be coming into your system. So how does this look in practice? When you have a governance pool in conviction voting, anyone can create a proposal. You can support proposals with any amount of your voting weight. And then as you support those proposals, that support grows conviction over time. And all of these are customizable. So you can set conviction growth to be as short or as long as you want. And the real like power unlock that comes from this is bottom-up governance. With this extra security of that time-weighted element, you can have these kind of optimistic governance structures that can execute on chain, and really give a group of people decision-making power from the bottom. And I think this opens up like an enormous potential of like true community governance of all kinds of systems. So this modular governance of Gardens, this is a V2 thing. Gardens has been around since 2021. Our old system was not modular, which meant that a community only had one instance of their governance. But now these communities can create any number of instances. And so we're like finding all of these potential uses in a community. And so right now, the phase that we're at is that we're running experiments for every imaginable use case of conviction voting. We did one for seasonal funding, which you can see the GIF for to the right. This is supporting projects that are building infrastructure, and Zu.City wound up winning this one. And so this could be an event that you would run each season and do payouts seasonally. We also have one running for council elections, for expense reimbursements, token curated registries, roadmap consensus, treasury management, all kinds of decisions, both financial and non-financial. And our goal with these experiments is to find what's working, get feedback, make them better, and then build out UIs for the ones that truly are working. And then I'm probably over my 3 minutes, so I can stop there. But let's see. Yeah, if you can find us on X, Farcaster, and then also I can share my contact info too if people want to reach out and try it out. But we're very much hoping to integrate with Zu.City and become the part of the app marketplace that Zu.City is able to access.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Paul. Thanks for joining us so early and hope you're staying safe down there in Southern California. We're very happy to see this gardens platform. I think next up, so another one from Zu-Grāma, especially at the buildathon going strong, and we're going to hear about an app that was built in just 3 hours.
Yeah. Hi guys. I'm Kiho. I'm from Microbiome the Hub. So actually, we are running a microbiome experiment at Zu-Grāma. So what we are trying to see here is whether following a certain diet for a certain period of time is going to have a influence on your gut health. So gut microbiome health. So we're going to take 2 tests and see this. On top of this, we are building this data layer where we are trying to collect some data about what we eat and how does the poop looks. Because it might sound gross, there is a reason behind this. We're also looking at the mood and trying to connect it with our microbiome. So the bigger goal behind this is to, run a model to predict how diet connects to poop and then how poop connects to microbiome, because these microbiome tests are not so affordable and not so scalable at this moment. So think of these poop, which are bio-waste, as first sort of zero knowledge contributions with which you can predict your gut health, right? So that's the idea. And we built this app in just 3 hours with our dev Dhruv and Repute AI.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm Dhruv, and yeah, that's true. We built in 3 hours, and it's because we had a very strong business requirement, and it was extremely clear on what we have to build, and that's why the AI actually worked. And we had to do a lot of tuning on it. For example, the colors, those were, they took a long time. And so it's anonymous. Your name won't be visible to the people. You can just enter your kit code and that's it. You'll be visible just by your unique ID. And after saving your daily entry, you'll also get the weekly insights on how's your progress going forward, which will motivate you. And we also have a few codes down there, as you can see, from David Goggins to motivate you to actually fill up your entry every day. And we'll also have a community anonymous graph where you can see, okay, how well am I doing compared to the other people, which will also at the end motivate you. Then we also plan to have a Duolingo style notification systems where you'll be notified if you don't fill an entry, and you can set your time on when you want to fill an entry every day. Yeah, that's how the app works. Thanks.
One of the cool things about this is, so we have a few partners that have come to help us refund the study for all the fellows to be able to participate in this. And towards the end, there will be a research paper that is published along with India Institute of Science Longevity Division. And the idea is to scale the study to different pop-up villages together.
Well, I also wanted to add that for everyone joining virtually, if you want to have Replit AI Pro access, you can get it as a part of you joining Zu-Grāma, although virtually you just enter Zu-Grāma as the code and you'll almost have it for free.
And Josh has no affiliation with Replit. He's just a fan. Cool. All right, next up, partner programming and ETHDenver.
Yeah, so I think I'll present this one, and maybe Arjun is here or someone from for the next one. But so yes, great. So I'll lead in and get to you. So just want to share with everyone here and virtually that Zu.City, Zu software. We have some exciting partner programming on the horizon in just over a month at ETHDenver. So we're coordinating a hackathon with textile and ceramic with a focus on building dApps and tools for permanent Web3 hubs, Zuzalu hubs, and that shall not be named word that we are all maybe in theory building here. So some tools for online offline coordination and innovation. So also on that note, if you are thinking about problems after having lived in a pop-up village and then think, okay, if we're going to have a permanent one, what do we need to have built? Then we're also very keen to know as we're deciding the problem statements. We're talking with various permanent hubs such as Forces and Crecimiento, so we can try to target it. If you're interested in hacking, then also we want people to help hack on these projects. And then on February 28th, there's an event called Unclouded Textile and Ceramic. They've been doing it for a few years. This is our first time getting involved. It's all about decentralized data, dApps, and decentralized AI. And then we're going to hear about something exciting called the Escape Big Tech Challenge with Taco and tacos. All right.
Thank you so much for inviting us, and yeah, it's great to be here. I was going to say that I was tired because it's the morning, but I'm in New York, so 3 hours ahead of the previous presenter. Yeah, I'll quickly go over what Taco is. We've been doing some great collaborative work with Zu.City and a little bit with ZuPass as well. So it's an end-to-end encryption layer for Web3, but also beyond Web3. Put simply, allows your users to control who sees their private data, i.e. like what are the conditions on which data can be decrypted without trusting a centralized server, as is typical in Web 2, or trusting a permissioned group that might be like managing access to data, which is some of the options you have in Web 3 right now. We've been on mainnet for a year. We actually are like around our 1-year anniversary since we launched. From the very first day a year ago, we were fully decentralized. So the very first byte of data that was encrypted through Taco was under a decentralized crypto system with independent nodes. We actually have about 130 independent nodes running Taco clients. A lot of them also run TBTC clients, which is one of the main bridges between Bitcoin and Ethereum, because we're on the same network, which is called Threshold. And we've got some revenue generating adopting apps who have like integrated Taco and are using it in the real world, which is cool, with real world data, where there's real world high stakes for making sure that data is not leaked. So yeah, like I said, we've been working a little bit with Zu.City for managing private data in the context of like community, I guess most applicable to like community and event modules, but possibly also funding. And yeah, we've delved into some cool stuff prompted by these conversations. One that comes to mind is having groups of Taco nodes that are managing access to data being sort of geographically optimized for specific events that might take place in different regions around the world to minimize the network latency. So when, for example, somebody is communicating with respect to an event in Asia, they would use like a group of Taco nodes that are like primarily located there, and there's like load balancing tricks as well, which is something that we hadn't really started designing until we worked with Zu.City. So that's pretty cool. I'll move on to the Escape Big Tech Challenge. So this is going to be a kind of fun little game that attendees at ETHDenver can play. The general idea is to educate the participants on the Web3 infrastructure that is available now and is actually decentralized. I think Web3 infrastructure has reached a very interesting point of maturity in the last year or so. And we are collaborating with various partners of ours. So partners in storage, in like transport layer, like Waku, for example, with Ceramic and OrbisDB as well, to produce this challenge or this game or quest. And the general idea will be going through these stages, and instead of using a typical everyday Web 2 approach where your data and your dignity really is being exploited by a Web 2 platform, you can instead leverage the Web 3 infrastructure that's available today to avoid those unfair trust dynamics. So one interesting example, which I think will be like one of the first stages, is posing the question and the challenge, like how would you pass on your crypto fortunes to beneficiaries, in the event that you die, without using a centralized authority or like a executor or whatever, like trusting some intermediary with your with one of the most sensitive payloads, which is like your mnemonic or your seed phrase. And obviously there's a way to do that with Taco and some other infrastructure. And so this is going to kind of, in a somewhat playful, simple way, explain these concepts. And yeah, like it says at the bottom, this isn't a challenge that will alienate non-devs. I think some of the concepts, like how to use decentralized databases or decentralized transport layers or decentralized access control, etc., will be broached, and people will get a sense of like how these things work. But yeah, like a lot of the UX will be friendly to non-technical people, and they just need to appreciate and learn a little bit about these concepts. So for example, we have like this condition builder. So there's like a UX, a little bit like Scratch, which is like a software, or like teaching kids about software development, and they can use that UX to build conditions, and those conditions are like the decryption conditions. So which is again like a pretty intuitive concept. Like once you get your head around it, like what needs to be true for someone to access my private data. And that could be anything really. Like that could be holding an NFT, or it could be a certain temperature in a certain city. Like only share this if it's warmer than 20 degrees. There's really like any kind of like Web 2 or Web 3 state that can be conditions, and that's some of the concepts we want to get across. And yeah, I think that's everything. If you want to reach out, sorry, I forgot to put in our our contact, but I'll post in the chat some contact information if you're interested in Taco and you want to talk more.
Thank you so much, Arjun. And I think Danny or somebody from Blockful team, if you want to briefly mention what you guys have been working on. I know you've been doing, I think, heads down governance research. We don't have a separate slide, but if you'd like to speak. I hope Zug warned you that I would ask this. Going once. You can think about it. Maybe share later. I know, yeah, that's why I'm calling her out. Okay, don't worry about it. Then we will move on to the next one, which is Moodforest, which is also an IRL presented from Japan.
Thanks, Veronica. Hi, everybody. Hello to the Zoo community around the world. I'm very happy to introduce Moodforest on behalf of my team. And Moodforest is a lab for longevity and happiness. And we are focusing on that humans have this remarkable self-healing capacities, which are sort of getting diminished due to our depleting biohappiness. And the biohappiness component, we have identified around 9 key factors, and more are being discovered, which are depleting and affecting our mood, which is our ability to thrive, our health, which is ability to avoid diseases, and the longevity, which is about living long. And so we're building protocols, places, and helping train people in this approach. We have a team which is from drug discovery, clinical psychology, and health sciences background. And in the past, one of our forest fasting protocol, it has shown effectiveness in regulating the things that you see on the screen, from blood glucose, cholesterol levels, also nutrients like vitamin D and B12. And what we are focusing on right now is building up a cardio cleanse study. So it used to be the case that children used to take their parents' hospitals for heart issues, but increasingly it's the parents who are taking children's hospital for the heart issues. Last month, there was a case of a third grader having a heart attack and passing away, and a very famous yoga guru passing away due to heart attack on a hike. And cardio, one of the major reasons is the arterial clogging, which is also a bottleneck for an overall rejuvenation that can happen in the body. And with this forest fasting protocol, we are hoping that this can be a non-invasive solution for cardiovascular health. Very happy if anybody aligns with this and wants to join us, either helping with the research or the tech. You want to be a study participant, boost your heart health, you want to sponsor the study or help us promote. You can scan the QR code and it will help us get connected. My contact details are also mentioned there.
Thank you so much. Next is Topology.
Thank you. Hi, the Zu community. We've just had a session at Zu-Grāma here this afternoon about the work at Topology, and so there's a lot of details, but here's the TLDR: we are building protocols to introduce essentially RAM to the work computer. The idea is that we argue that right now in the Web3 space, what we are effectively doing from the perspective of computer architecture is that we are running CPUs against the hard drives. And that has multiple limitations. Two limitations that are critical here is, number one, we are under the tyranny of global transparency, which means that it's quite difficult to do privacy-preserving applications on the blockchain. And the second limitation is that we're under the tyranny of global coupling, which means that surge of traffic in one applications, i.e. smart contracts, affect everyone else on the same blockchain. And so thinking from the perspective of computer architecture, we think there is a lack of a new memory, a new kind of memory in the Web3 stack, and one that works more like a RAM. And RAM complements hard drive in all modern computers. What characterizes this RAM is there's a couple of things, just to be brief here. One is it doesn't have to remember everything forever. That means that it can be maximally decentralized in the sense that it runs peer-to-peer between end users directly that are participating in the applications. And it also runs very fast by bypassing consensus, among other things. And also it preserves data at the edge of the network, which means that by default, you can preserve privacy by self-hosting important personal data and only interact in end-to-end encryption manners. And we think that by introducing this, we can bootstrap a new wave of collaboration software in Web3. A lot of the applications in Web3 are quite competitive and zero-sum, and most of the time we collaborate on documents, spreadsheets, Canvas, or collaborating to build software together. The typical stack that we use is typically hosted on some cloud in the Web2 space. RAM essentially allows us to do collaboration without trusting each other. It actually comes from 2 decades of technologies. Since the dawn of the web in the 90s, we had this desire to not just read, but also write the web. There's a technology called operational transform, which eventually become the technology behind Google Doc, which is one of the most widely used collaboration software today. And there's a technology called CRDT, which is the sort of the grandchild of OT, and the protocol that we're making takes heavy inspiration from the CRDT technology, which also happens to be the technology that's underlying Fileverse, which is making decentralized doc. It's also underlying Figma, which people use to sort of collaborate in multiplayer mode on the same mock-up files and designs, and so on. So we're making this protocol so that we can see more collaborations in Web3, and we hope to contribute to the Zu software stack by empowering new kinds of collaboration software. And there's also the cultural angle. Decentralization, the world of decentralization have many communities, and Web3 communities are a subset of them. There are decentralized web, there's offline software, local first software, and so on. A lot of these other communities actually don't quite appreciate Web3's focus necessarily on financial incentive. But if you look beyond these ideologies, there's a lot of things that decentralized communities all believe in. And by introducing essentially the CRDD technology comes from other neighboring decentralization communities into the Web3 stack, we also hope to bridge culturally these communities that have been a little bit segregated up until now. So that's what we hope to contribute to the space and also to the Zu software stack. And on the bottom of the slide, you have our company website and also our contact on Telegram. Thank you.
Thanks, Gigi. And next up, we have meta evaluation. Is the updated slide? Or what?
It's close
Okay,
enough. Yeah.
okay. I realized it's different from what I saw.
Hi everyone. So I think this will probably be an update or a recap for most of the people in the crowd, but new to the people online. So I'll be presenting a new primitive that we're developing called meta evaluation or wisdom. We're developing this with open heart and mind. And the basic idea is that this could become an interoperable mechanism to value any contribution in any community, and thereby allow automatic rewards for contributions and also reputation scores and governance. And so I'll take you through the three main steps, which I've tried to color code to make it a bit simpler. So the first is to value contributions. This is basically a pairwise comparison between any two contributions to the community. So this could be any idea, any good or service that's contributed. Then the second step is meta valuation. So here we're doing valuations of valuations themselves. So this looks exactly like the first step, except that one of the two items being compared is now some number of valuations themselves. So you can see that in the green box, we're asking someone to imagine comparing, say, some piece of work that was done versus 100 of these pairwise comparisons. And then basically by rewarding these valuations and meta valuations with tokens, we can automatically calculate the scores for every single contribution. And so that's shown in the blue step there. On the bottom right, you can see some actual data that we've collected from one of our various prototypes. And what it spits out is a multi-dimensional representation of the value of every single contribution. And critically, no one person has needed to do anything more complicated than a simple pairwise comparison. And all of the units that things are measured in are interoperable. So communities could start to automatically exchange value and reward contributors appropriately. And so where we're at, we've prototyped in a variety of communities and contexts, including festivals, conferences, and decentralized projects. And we've gathered a little bit of seed funding. And what we're doing now is building an MVP. Probably most of you will find it a bit boring because it's Web 2, but it seemed like the quickest way forward. And our goal is to use that MVP to recognize and reward contributions to this project itself. And we'll be able to distribute our seed funding and thereby demonstrate this kind of virtuous cycle that the system can create. And right now, I'm also really keen to ideate with people on how we might bring this on chain, because that's obviously the goal. So yeah, there's contacts down the bottom there for my Twitter and Telegram and our website at openheartmind.org. Thanks.
Thanks so much. Passing over to Matt.
Hey everybody, just a quick update for Maitri and community graphs. Thanks. So quick update from us with community graphs. We have been working on an integration with EAS and their transitive trust protocol. That's been an update for the last couple months. It's a really deep rabbit hole. So the team is still working through running simulations, simulated social graphs, calculations on simulated social graphs and simulated community graphs to make sure that math all adds up to anticipated outcomes. In the meantime, a different part of our team has been working on a Telegram bot and a Discord bot Discord bot is finished. We're doing final testing now. That'll be live soon. And Telegram bot is coming next. Why? Oh yeah, good question. Why are we building these things? Because a web interface, a web app, or something like an attestation mechanism is not a great user experience. You don't want to tell your users, hey, leave where we're all doing the thing together to go to this other thing and do their thing and then come back to our thing. It's just bad. So that's like a backstop. It needs to be there as an interface of last resort. But it's much more streamlined to have everybody be able to participate in these things within the flow of the tools that are the places where they're already gathering. So that's what we're working toward. It's more streamlined interfaces, user interfaces. And we also have it open alpha at communitygraphs.xyz, and API keys available if anybody wants to live with it. Thanks.
Thank you. I don't want to jinx it by saying I think we're just right on time, but by my calculations, I think we'll be right on time. Normie.tech is presented. Are you presenting for it? Great.
Hello to the Zu community. I'm Dipanshu Singh. I'm here to present Normie.tech on behalf of the team. So Normie.tech slogan is basically like Normie is using platform. So the thing is, right now, we have the Web3 project aspect, whereby not everything in Web3 is like a DeFi or an exchange. Some are really like impactful project that you can refi your system. So the thing is that they cannot even capture their fiat users because of the whole onboarding process. But our point of view is that they don't really need to care about the whole onboarding process because you can abstract that away with a fiat interface that settles on chain for the Web3 projects in the smart contracts. And the other customer segment, which we are slowly unlocking, is individuals from like emerging markets like Vietnam or Nigeria that would rather prefer holding stable coins than their fiat currencies. So enabling them to sell their digital products using Normie.tech. So we have those two solutions. So we have right now our solution is like an API system for Web3 projects that they can use to integrate. And the other one is like individuals could go onto our platform, create payment links of their products, which they can give to their customers and pay for. Right now, we started around October. So far, traction is about above $25,000. And we're onboarding slowly some projects. We have Voice there, Breadsheet, and others. And yeah, so yeah, let Normie use your platform. And I would like to shout out my team, Aryan, Nitin, Noah, Manohar. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And next up, we have Wade Protocol.
Yeah. Trust. I want to put it in the three. I want to put it in the three statements. Why it matters, how it matters, and where it matters. So the question is, how we can quantify trust of a user on chain? The only way is by measuring or by calculating user activity on chain. Again, the question is, just by looking into a transaction, it can be pull anything. Just by looking into a transaction, it's hard to design. It's hard to design and measure the reputation of the particular transaction or particular person, right? So how we can do it? So the unifying theory of this solution is, let's say if I have trust on Dipanshu, just for example, I have trust on Dipanshu. So I'm putting some tokens on him by staking on him by trusting Dipanshu. It's a rich person, I want to stake on him. Let's say we both have a common pool like you. So I stake in a common pool by staking on this Dipanshu. Let's stake. So now, yeah, now we both have authority on this pool. So whether we both can break the bond or I can withdraw my bond and everything. So on these actions, we will calculate the reputation of the user. For example, even if you didn't put any money, I put whole money. Now we can break the bond, you can take my whole amount. In this case, the reputation of this user will decrease. So it can be in every situation. Again, the question is where it matters. In any platform, on everywhere, where reputation matters. For example, if you want to okay, say build out any application for Zu-Grāma itself, reputation can matter there as well, based on the on-chain history in itself. So yeah, any comments for you? And special thanks to Casey and the team to ideate this in very short time. Breaking the bond now. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next up, we have, oh, by the way, we'll be integrating Wave protocol into Lemonade. Then, based on your reputation score, we'll decide if you're allowed into different events or not. Cool. Next up, Zu.Coffee.
This is a virtual one, so let me a little weird. There we go.
Hi. Hey, I use quick overview for the short module for Zu.City, also renamed Zu-Coffee. So we have made some progress. The first one refactored the shop contract. I finished. And now we are working on the IP 7702. And now Pectra upgrade in 25 this year, about March. And we will prepare for the EOA gas list count based on this EIP. And also, during this time, we open a new branch, just introduce a little about the small hero avatar. It's like a game framework will be contribute to Zu.City for the game part. It's like also a open source and free for all the decentralized world. Yeah. So the plan for this week and later, we're meeting with the Zu.City team and perform integration. Also, we will work on the Godot engine, and someone will, if you will be interested about the game development, you can touch me. Also, some account upgrade on EIP 7702. And Sex4C provide a meetup, and I talk with Scott, is the author of the Microfi small book. I think if someone interested about the like mycelium, mushroom, something else, you can touch me also. It's a future vision of A-Star. Build a decentralized Microfi or mycelium protocol. It's like mushroom. Yeah, that's all for today update. Thank you.
Xenophone.
Hi everyone. Hi Vero. Can you please click play on the demo? Okay, so hi everyone. My name is Xenophone. I'm the founder of ZuCasa, and our goal is to pretty much fix accommodations for Web3 when it comes to events, and of course when it comes to pop-up cities. In the demo that I'm showing to you now, I'm only indicating 1/6 of what we've built thus far. This is the utility of being able to resell reservations that we can represent as NFTs on chain. In this scenario, we present a fake room in London that is booked for $10 and being able to be sold for whatever price you desire. Everything is working on chain. You can log in using MetaMask as well as Gmail. The payments can take place in crypto assets or in fiat. You can search for properties on multiple locations through this app that we've already built. It is already everything you see here, as well as in the next page. You will see there's links on there. Here you can see the listings actually being relisted and sold. Our current focus is fundraising, UX, UI, and planning for the next year. Vero, can I please get the next slide, please? You can see all of the transactions on Base Polia here, where we described everything that we've built thus far. We want to be in the event you see on the right. If you would like for me to do a briefer analysis of what is missing, we still need to fix a number of UX UI issues to make it more appropriate for Web3 and pop-up specifically. We still need to do a bit of an update on the smart contracts, allowing for the accommodation to be split according to whatever you desire. we can port information from other platforms, and that's probably where we're gonna go with for the start of the growth of our business, where we try to represent bookings done on booking.com or Airbnb. However, without the working capital, we simply cannot go out there and control the quality of the accommodation we want to provide to the community. So that's pretty much it. There's a lot more to show. If anybody cares and wants to talk, you can send me a DM. If you want to have a conversation about supporting us with funding, please do so. There's other ecosystems that are looking to work with us. So it is important and paramount for me that we work with Zuzalu and the Ethereum ecosystem, but we need the support now. Otherwise, we won't grow fast enough. That's it for me for today. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Xenophon. And now, last but not least, so first I will say we do have stickers for everyone here in person. So some of them say "Build tools, not empires," which is a quote from Vitalik's "Make Ethereum Cypherpunk Again." And then we also have the Zuzu.City logo. But so we have something to reward not only the people here in person. Last up is Salman. Just wait, let me come back here. Not a sticker, but we have
Hey everyone, GM, I'm Salman, and I'm going to talk about POAPs. POAPs stand for Proof of Evidence Protocol. They are essentially NFTs used for commemorating memories for things that we consider historically relevant, and they are collected by people who've been part of that event or experience. I think of them as fringe magnets from our life, but digital and stored on chain for us to enjoy forever. It also has various use cases, like the poll we saw on Carbonvote earlier today. Thank you, Veronica. That was awesome. If you click on the link over here, you're going to find a collection of POAPs from Zu-Grāma. One for okay. So this is one for being a resident at Zu-Grāma. This is one for the session from Vitalik, which is awesome, and a gaming night and being part of a governance discussion over here. A few like that. All the data associated with POAPs are on chain, and you're able to see who else have collected them individually and also as an aggregate view as a collection. You're also able to add media into the POAP, which add as a collective gallery of content relevant to each event. So there's a POAP. Give me a second there. Oops.
Maybe try refreshing.
Yeah, should I?
Yeah.
No.
Or should we click it from the slideshow?
Not from the slide, from the Telegram.
Ah, it's from the Telegram.
Yeah, do you have it?
I have a way of doing it. I just opened the one you sent. We'll try it.
That's the one.
We'll try it. So,
But it has to be the full link. If you just
I can't just send it like at airdrop or try. It's my way of risking while sharing. No way, I say just a slash event. All right, give 1 second.
I think I need to slide in a second.
To add into the slide? Okay, yeah. If you want to add it into the slide, we'll do that. And while he does, we can check and see if there's any updates to the votes. Speaking of, this new POAP is not included in the Zu-Grāma POAP holders only, but we could now do a poll that is just relevant. You can only vote if you have this singular POAP. Let's see. All right, so this one hasn't changed. Still, majority of POAP holders think that POAP holding should be the voting power. And then actually, the most ETH voting has gone towards not having ETH holding in the wallet, or ETH held in the wallet to be the voting power. All right. Mm-hmm.
No? That's the one?
This one. All right.
Very sorry, everyone.
It always happens.
But,
That's the
yeah.
curse.
Okay. Well, all right. If it doesn't
Trying.
open, that's fine.
If not, we can blast it out to all the virtual attendees later.
Yeah,
we
we
can
can.
send a link. Yeah.
Sure.
Should have tried a different browser.
Yeah, I guess, but it's
Oh,
was that presentation?
presentations here.
Yep.
Or everybody, you can maybe try this link and then let us know if the link works and if it's just a us thing at the moment.
Yeah, by the way, so this POAP is supposed to be for today's call that you were supposed to be able to collect, but it happens. That's fine. It's actually a pretty cool Mint experience. You can actually DM me for Salman needs a job, which is there, and I'll send you a link. If you're part of this call, just DM me and I'll send you a link. The artwork represents this very special call, which we have all showed up for from different parts of the world to learn about what's new in the ZuCasa software ecosystem during the first town hall this year, and many are also present here at IRL at Zu-Grāma, India. All right. So have a good day, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Here's the live demo. It was bound to happen at some point. And look at that. We have just 13 minutes left and we made it to the end. So we also will be sharing on our socials. You can see in the slides. We also have this in the description from the events where you can see all of the updates from the previous town halls. And we will be compiling all of these to blast out and help spread the word. And finally, this is the software. Right now we are using Matrix via Element for communicating. So if you're keen to be even more involved with Zuzulu.City, Zuzu software building, then you can scan this to join our builder group. We are working on building up our virtual discussions in addition to all of these great IRL ones that we have at Zuzulu events. And we tend to have weekly virtual game nights as well. And so we will post those in that chat too if you're keen to play. Now I'm going to switch over to the call. I guess we have just a little bit of time while we have builders here virtually and here in person. Does anybody have questions? Does anybody have final words that you'd like to share to Zu-Grāma or to Zu Software Online? Going once.
Keep building.
Keep building.
Yes.
I love it. Keep building. Keep building. All right. Thank you all so much for joining. QJ said that it worked. The POAP works minted. So it's happening. Let's see if this link works again for me. But thank you all so much for joining. Okay, maybe it's just a week. And very excited to invite you all to our future ones, again, about once a month. And yeah, I see in the chat, people are saying keep building. Thank you guys. Thanks for joining virtually. Thank you guys for joining in person. And we have a bit of a break. I think the next session starts already in 10 minutes. Thank you guys.